Energy healing can sometimes appear to have limited or even no results. We'll be looking at 5 reasons why this can happen and what we can do about it. The first thing to consider is that maybe it is working and the results just aren't immediate. I've had the situation many times with clients that we've been working together on something over many weeks without any apparent change whatsoever on a long-standing issue. So we've given up and moved on to something else, and then sometime later I've gone back to them and asked, how about that thing that we were working on some time ago? And they said, oh, that's not there anymore. It just took that extra time for the work to be processed and for the results to be achieved. And then when it did happen, it just felt like the most natural thing in the world. In my video introduction to the emotion code on the front page of the Heartful Healing website, I share how when I removed my own heart wall at the beginning, I nearly gave up on the emotion code because I didn't feel any change for a long time. It was only after several months that I looked back over my life and I saw all the changes that had taken place over those months. They happened very slowly, very subtly. But my life at that time was in a very, very different place to where it had been months earlier when I did the work. It's been the same with other issues too. For example, one of the first things I worked on myself was my eyes, because I had a stinging in the right eye all the time. Nothing changed, so I gave up. And it was only several weeks later that I thought, do you know what? I haven't had that stinging in my eye for a long time. Sometimes energy work is very subtle and it just takes more time to manifest. We just need trust and patience. An essential requirement of energy healing is that we put our hearts into the work that we're doing. If we're just mechanically following whatever steps we need to follow, it becomes a really dry process and lacks potency. In the first video of this healing series, which you can find on the Heartful Healing YouTube channel, I shared 3 foundational principles to give a really good grounding to our energy healing work. The first was to make a connection, to take a few seconds at the beginning of a healing session and connect with a higher power. This reinforces our humility and opens a channel so that the work can flow through us. The second was to set and maintain a clear intention of what we want the result of our work to be, and to hold that throughout the work. And the third was to focus on the positive. Instead of thinking about the negative thing that we want to be rid of, to focus instead on what we want the final outcome to be. These 3 foundational principles can make a huge difference to the effectiveness of energy healing. Another issue might be that we're focusing our attention in the wrong direction. If, for example, we're working on somebody who has pain in their stomach or intestines after eating, we might think it makes sense to work on their digestive system because that's the obvious place where their issue is. But the problem might not be with their digestive system. Their digestive system might be working perfectly well. They might be having this issue because their circadian rhythm is out of balance, or because there are trapped emotions or other imbalances in the gut that need to be released, or because one of the brain glands, like the hypothalamus, is imbalanced. We can't possibly know. So the best thing that we can do is, instead of playing the expert and thinking that we know what exactly is behind any issue, to work in a much more general way, to re-establish that connection that we made at the start of the session, and allow whatever work is necessary to be channeled through us for the client's benefit. One possible reason why our healing might not be as effective as we'd like it to be might have less to do with us as a healer and more to do with how ready our clients actually are to change. If this happens, one thing we could do, with their permission, would be to ask their subconscious mind how aligned they actually are to the goals that they've stated. And if they're not aligned, then to bring them into full alignment with those goals, but always respecting any limitations they might have, any hesitancy, either conscious or unconscious, because we don't want to force them into something that they're not yet ready for. This could make a difference, but if it happens with a lot of clients, it might be an indication that we need to work on ourselves. It's quite common that the more we work on ourselves and change ourselves, this also changes the types of people who come to us. You might find that the sorts of people who are coming to you now are no longer attracted to you, and there's a whole new set of people who are drawn to you, who are far more resonant with the sorts of clients that you'd ideally like to work with. If after all of this it's still not working, then it depends whether you're just starting out or if you've been healing for a while and things have changed recently. If you're just starting out, it might simply be that you need more time to fully access your healing potential. It might be a great idea to work with another practitioner to work on you to help you get there. Or you might even use whatever healing possibilities you have yourself to see how far you can bring yourself forward. This is what I did, because my initial healing was on friends and family for free, but then they started referring lots of people to me, so I thought I need to set up a business. So I did that. I had my first client lined up, and 2 days before the session I realized that in terms of the muscle testing, I couldn't use my fingers. I could only do this sway test method where you have to stand up and it takes a long time and you sway backwards or forwards, and you can't really do that on a Zoom call because it would look a bit ridiculous. So I panicked for a minute, and then I did some healing on myself using the sway test to be able to use my fingers for muscle testing. The next morning, remarkably, I was sitting on a train and I was able to, without standing up, do release trapped emotions from 5 different people, which I was really surprised by how quickly it worked, but that's a way you could do as well. If you're already a healer and you seem to have lost your ability for some reason, and you've checked the obvious things like that you're well grounded and well hydrated, it may be that something's happened. You may have had some sort of shock, even if it's a very subtle shock that you're not aware of, that's temporarily disturbed your ability to access your healing potential. It might be something that's happened to you. It might be a situation which you have underlying worry about, or it might be that you've taken in a substance which actually isn't good for you. Or it may be that one of those things has happened to one of your clients and you've absorbed that while you're working on the client. That's happened to me a couple of times. I've totally lost my ability to muscle test for days, and it's quite frightening. The best thing to do in a situation like that is to stay calm, to accept what's happened, because it's just happened, and to get help as soon as you can from another practitioner to get you back to a state where you're in touch with your healing abilities. The worst thing you can do is to panic and worry and to get deflated and lose confidence, because that's the one thing that will interfere with getting your healing ability back. The chances are overwhelmingly that you can do this work and you haven't permanently lost the ability. You just need to stay calm, keep a clear head, and get help from another practitioner as soon as possible. The energy healing method I use most often with clients all over the world is the body code, because it's the one I've found has the most transformative results. To find out more about it, watch some sample Heartful healing sessions, and if you'd like to consider working with me, please visit heartfulhealing.co.uk.